Hello everyone, how you going? And welcome back to Oddly Satisfying, the place that we always just have to come crawling back to for, like it says, for those little things that just are inexplicably satisfying. I don't know what it is about it, but all of these posts just always hit home and you just go, yes, that is exactly what I came here for. But anyway, let's jump straight into it, shall we? So then starting right off with the efficiency of this camping kit. Oh, I feel as though this one is just going to be someone's dream. Just look at this. Oh my goodness, it's already a table. And really, I would take that as is, but I'm sure it isn't going to stop there. Okay, so we've got some stools, we've got a little camp stove, we've got a table. What else are we going to have? We've got pods, we've got chopping board, we've got everything we would ever need and more so far, but it's still not going to be stopping. Looks like we've got an entire spice rack, we got a little burner. My goodness, this thing just keeps on going. The engineering and design behind this entire thing is incredible. Look at this. Oh, now we've got a stove. Where are we going from here? Is that going to be it? Oh, okay. I just didn't know when it was going to stop, because when you've got something like this and the things just keep coming and coming and coming, you just don't know when it's going to stop. But I mean, it has to stop eventually, unless it's some very, very kind of scientific, futuristic, I don't know, endless box. But no, that is incredible. And the fact that they just even pick it up at the beginning, show that it's actually lightweight and everything. I mean, it's obviously a fully aluminium construction, so it's also good in terms of corrosion, and you just, you know, you can just wipe everything down. Nothing's ever going to rust or anything. And I just wish that they pulled out and showed the entire extent of how big it really is after it's completely folded out, because you get to see how big it is when they first start, and you cannot be impressed because it's basically as big as a small suitcase in the beginning, but then it just folds out to be a full table and chairs and everything else. I mean, I can only assume that this thing probably isn't the cheapest item on the camping list. You know, you could probably get a fair amount of camping gear for the same cost as this, but really, if it's the all-in-one and you don't need anything else, maybe it's just completely worth it, if nothing else, just for the novelty of it as well. But hey, like I said, these things are just always so impressive. It doesn't even have to be camping gear, but quite often it is camping gear that is just designed to the nth degree, just to be either the lightest or the smallest or whatever it may be. You know, just this thing just ticks all the boxes in that regard. You can get pots and glasses and all that kind of stuff that kind of fit inside each other in an ultralight. You can get titanium tools and titanium tents. I don't even know, but there are just so many things that would never ever see the light of day in crappy design, because it would just been designed so perfectly. And so I guess in that regard, you do have to give props to the designers, because sometimes they just pull out all the stops and design something like this that is not only satisfying but just so utilitarian. The power of crazy glue. Oh no, that is satisfying enough as is. You just need to stop it there. I mean, I can only assume that it's going to be glued back together eventually. Yeah, here we go. We're just starting the glue process now. But no, that first bit where they just take the knife and just slice whatever it is. I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's kind of a yoga mat material. I have no idea, but really, that is incredible. I mean, I'm assuming that it is going to hold based on what the sub were on, but really, you can see that they barely use any glue. I mean, I guess by the time they actually close it back up, you really don't need any glue in the scheme of things, considering it's basically just a 2D cut. But no, just look at that. That is incredible. You can almost just not even see the line anymore. I mean, you're never going to get it to be perfect, but oh my goodness, just the fact they're already bending and the glue's already bonded, that is incredible. I would have thought that it was like, okay, now just leave it for 24 hours and we'll come back to it then, and then finally it'll actually be cured. No, they literally just put a couple of dots down, put it back together, and then it seemed as though it was good to go just like that. That is just, well, I guess exactly like the name says, that is crazy. I mean, I guess in saying that, even though it is crazy in terms of what it can do, I can only imagine that it is so toxic, and so you certainly want to get any of that on your fingers, because really, if you get any on your fingers, you're just going to be immediately stuck to whatever you actually touch next. And I can only imagine that the chemical nature of that is just insane, but oh my goodness, just the way that it's just immediately just able to kind of just take force again, it's just insane. So really, I feel as though this is kind of like the last post, you know, obviously the last one was a designer, an engineer, or whatever you want to call them, and this one's more so chemistry. At the same time, you know, people are just smart and they think about a lot of stuff, and when they do truly put their mind to it, they can conjure up some crazy glues, I guess. But it really just has got me wondering what the hell it is that they cut in the first place. Is it some kind of yoga mat, or just, I don't even know. It's definitely that kind of material, because when they cut it open, you can see it's just kind of foamy, so to say. And I guess in saying that, it makes sense as to why it can bond so well, because there is so many kind of pits and ruts and everything for the glue to take hold of, but it still does not take anything away from that crazy chemistry and that crazy glue, because like I said, that is ridiculous that any glue is able to return something to basically 100%. So yeah, what can I say? As well as just being oddly satisfying from start to finish, this is definitely just some black magic mixed in there as well. Electric automated locomotive animation that I made. That is a sentence. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now that is satisfying. The way that it just keeps going round and round and round and round. It's not even though it's going in a straight line. No, it just follows the curvy path that has been given up and down and all the way round and round and round and round forever, really, I can only imagine. Or I guess actually just for as long as the battery lasts. But like I've been saying with every single post that we've seen so far, some people are just smart, and when they actually kind of put their mind to it, they can actually do things like this, and that's just so satisfying. Honestly, even though the sounds give it more of a realistic feel, I feel as though if I just kind of get rid of them, then it really just allows your brain to kind of separate it out between just being a real device and a computer animation, because really it just is so smooth that you kind of go, is it not? I just don't know anymore. But no, what can I say? Regardless of if someone actually built this in real life because they're actually more that way inclined, or someone actually animates it, either way, it's just so satisfying. I mean, I guess in saying that, it would actually be quite difficult to make the train just stay in one position if you actually did it in real life. But no, either way, that is definitely satisfying, and not even oddly satisfying. I feel as though everyone can understand that that is just satisfying. It doesn't even need to be oddly satisfying to even be on this side. So really, this is just incredible that someone was able to just get all the timings and the rendering just so perfect. And so yeah, like I said, just well done to this person, because they nailed all the textures, and even when I had the sound on, they nailed that, just the way it just kind of makes your brain think it is truly real. And honestly, I feel as though that is actually the most satisfying part, just how you can trick your brain just by adding a little bit of audio. The way this candy changes colors as it is pulled. Now, I know I've seen something like this before, but I know I've never seen this one. Oh my goodness, just look at it go round and round and round. Wait, hang on a second. I'm also just more confused about how that rod is just kind of switching sides, but no, that is incredible. Look at it. It's gone from the dark blue to kind of just an aqua. I don't really know, just now it's a cyan or so to say. But no, just the way that it so effortlessly just folds it. You know, that thing probably weighs, I don't know, 20 kilos or something just ridiculous, and it just goes round and round and round and pulls through it like it's nothing. In saying that, now it's just got me wondering how the hell the person even gets it off, because surely it would be so sticky by that point and just wanting to stick to the rollers. I mean, I guess I can only assume that someone did think about that and there's some kind of lollyphobic rods, because as I'm sure we all know, if you try and get lolly like that out of your teeth, it is just never coming out. And so for it to be stretched and pulled to that degree, that is pretty incredible that that person is even able to get that off. But no, hey, what can I say? That is definitely satisfying. Just the way that it so seamlessly just goes round and round and round, creating all those layers is just incredible. I would love to see kind of a cross section of the entire thing just to see how many individual layers there are in that, because I can only assume that in the end they're going to do what I've seen in some other lolly videos, and they're just kind of stretch it out and they just get a cleaver and kind of cut it up. But in doing the stretching, it just miniaturizes the shape, and so you'd never be able to see the layers. But when it is actually that big, you probably could still see the layers. That'd be pretty cool to see. And I wonder why it does change color. Maybe it's some kind of oxygen reaction as the entire thing just gets stretched through and more surface area gets exposed, or maybe it's some kind of heat reaction as the entire thing is just being pulled and stretched, and I'm sure there's some kind of heat induction in there. I have no idea, I'm just speculating, but no, it definitely belongs in this sub. And really, that person that has that job, oh man, they have an oddly satisfying job, because they're just going round and round and round. I mean, I can only imagine that the novelty of it would wear off pretty quickly, but really, surely you just kind of swap out the colors and just go, oh, how is this one going to react? Or perhaps you even just chuck in a whole bunch of colors into one and then just see how it mixes. That would be pretty cool as well. I'd love to see that on Oddly Satisfying. This amazing music box, Zotrope. Now, I will admit I have absolutely no idea what a Zotrope is. I've never heard of this. Oh, but I've definitely seen something like this before. Oh, look at that when the frames line up with the revolutions. Oh, that is incredible. I want to see this again. There we go. We got Totoro on top, and then we just go round and round and round with cut bust. Look at it go. And even the fact that they're able to light the entire thing up, my goodness, it doesn't even seem real. I feel as though this one is kind of like the other one that we saw with the trains, where it just has to be animated because it is so smooth. Even the fact that the background in the Starry Night spins around at the same time, I don't really understand how that's working. Where is it actually getting that from? That actually makes me think that it is more animated or something. I really don't get this. But hey, who am I to judge and what do I care? It is definitely satisfying either way, just watching this thing go round and round and round, knowing that it is meant to be just individual little guys. It is pretty incredible that they're just that detailed, the entire thing, just with the textures and everything. Oh, just well done to this person. And really, as well as the fact that it's obviously been done so well, at the same time, I can only imagine for so many people that they just love it even more, because it is actually cat bus just running along, just absolutely flying around the countryside. And look, in saying that, sometimes these are simple things. I mean, I guess this isn't exactly a simple thing, considering if it was really made, then it would be so many moving components, and if it's a render, then there are so many different textures and everything to take into consideration. But at the same time, if you don't think about it in that regard, really, it just is cat bus just running around over and over and over again. And hey, that really is all you need just to be satisfying sometimes. And this one definitely doesn't disappoint in that regard. Just the way that it goes from daytime to nighttime, it just continues. Oh, just well done to this person. 1000 Celsius tungsten ball versus lead. Oh, the tungsten is just going to go straight through it. Yeah, look at that, because tungsten has a melting point of, I don't know, like 2,500, something ridiculous. I think it's actually one of the highest besides carbon. But no, just look at that. It's just carving its way through that lead anvil. That is insane. It just is still going. Look at that. It doesn't even look as though it's hot anymore, but it's still probably, I don't know, 400 degrees or something ridiculous. But no, just the ease that that thing melts through that lead is just insane. I mean, obviously in saying that, they definitely chose the right material choosing lead, because it definitely doesn't have the highest melting point of any metal. But the fact that the red hot tungsten ball just made the lead look as though it's more like gallium or mercury is just insane. I mean, I can only assume that it's a time lapse, but actually looking at it more, maybe it isn't. Maybe it is just kind of carving its way through with that much ease. I mean, it is obviously so hot, so I kind of wouldn't put it past it, but looking at it, I feel as though with the camera movements, it's maybe kind of 2 times speed or something like that. I guess if nothing else, it definitely makes a point as to why lead was not used when they made anvils. You know, you definitely want something that is going to be able to survive the superheated temperatures or whatever you're working on, and not just kind of melt away like this has. So unless you are trying to make an anvil something that is already just stupidly heavy, even heavier if it's made out of lead, then at least we can see why things like this weren't made out of lead. That does make me question why they chose to cast an anvil out of lead for this experiment, because I feel as though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel as though it would have worked just as well if you actually just dig this out of the original block of lead that they made this anvil out of. And hey, I guess if we are talking about things that are heavier than steel, then really, obviously, like I said, the lead does one up it, but let's not kid ourselves, the tungsten definitely beats the lead in that department as well. So hey, I feel as though this is kind of a showcase of what would happen if you put these two materials head to head, you know, because except if you were trying to melt them, I feel as though the tungsten is just going to win in every single department. It's heavier, it's more dense, it's stronger, it's just such an incredible material, and really, so it's lead, but tungsten is just insane. It's on an entirely different level. So hey, look, even though I would say that no one should be attempting this in their backyard, I feel as though if you can attempt this in your backyard, like you actually have the physical means to do this, I feel as though you actually know what you're doing, considering you would then be working with, I don't know, like 50 kilos of lead and I don't know, 20 kilos of tungsten or something ridiculous. And to even just have those kind of materials on hand definitely mean you know something about something. So look, don't do it, but I guess if you know what you're doing, then I don't know. And hey, if you somehow do know what you're doing and you somehow have these kind of materials on hand, then really what I'd love to see is such as a race between different temperatures. I reckon that would also be oddly satisfying. satisfying to watch. A quick pierogi flip. Oh, don't tell me you're about to master chef the entire sub and just kind of flip all these over. How are you going to do it? Oh, that was satisfying. I wasn't sure if the person was just going to make them jump up and rotate 180 degrees over, or if they're actually going to make them kind of do a backflip flip and just do that way. And really, either way would have been satisfying, but no, that is definitely cool. And if nothing else, just well executed. Just look at that. Super smooth. Well done. I mean, I must admit, it does make me wonder how many of these had to pay the ultimate price and land on the floor before you mastered this. But look, I'm willing to overlook these facts just because they landed it so well. And hey, like I said all along, sometimes it is just the ones that are the most simplistic, that don't require just all these big setups and lead and tungsten. No. And even just the fact that they are perfectly brown, it's not like you've just been attempting and half of them have been charred because they've been on for too long as you've just been failing over and over again. No, they've just been perfectly brown. You knew what you were doing. And even just the fact that they've got a spatula right there, they've got a fork, you could probably just go grab a pair of tongs and individually flip every single one over. But who would want to do it that way? You would just so professionally and so cleanly do that. I mean, I must admit, I would like to see kind of the opposite rotation where they just kind of roll along their long axis instead of rolling along their short axis, so to say. I don't really know how to describe it, because I feel as though seeing them just jump up, rotate in the air, and just land in the opposite rotation in terms of all of the spiral and everything would also be just as satisfying as this one, if not more so, perhaps. Even though I just want to see. So even though sadly we don't get to experience that satisfying part about food, I can only imagine that, you know, you are obviously a professional chef if you're able to flip them like that, and so I can only assume that they actually taste pretty darn good as well. And so what can I say, even though this post is just very simplistic, like I said, it's just a little bit of food being flipped around at the same time, it just covers all the bases that oddly satisfying needs. And so now finally for the top of the month for oddly satisfying, we have this oil pastel art process. Oh no, we're gonna have a little bit of art. Oh my goodness, no, it's a 3.5 minute video. This is just gonna be insane. And look at this. Hang on a second, because I can only imagine this is just gonna be insane. You just look at that and you go, oh yeah, I feel as though I could do that. That looks as though it's a kind of a 3-year-old's drawing or coloring in. And then let's just watch and just see where the hell this goes, because I can only imagine, considering it's oddly satisfying of all things, it could probably belong on black magic as well. Because what can I say, it's obviously already starting to kind of take shape, but really people that are incredible at art are just wizards. And half the time I find with art, it's not even the fact that they can do it, it's the fact that they can do it so quickly. It is just incredible to me that people can be so fast about it and not take days and days and days just meticulously just choosing every little bit. No, they just are so in tune with exactly what they want to do and just to know exactly how to do it, and they just do it. It just keeps going. What the hell is going on here? How detailed is this thing gonna be by the end? Oh, of course, then you just have to add stars as well. I mean, hey, I guess in the scheme of things, adding little dots in is probably one of the easiest things they've done so far. I feel so I could probably add the dots in. It probably wouldn't look as good, but I could definitely add dots in. It would be quite random, but look at this. It just keeps going. I don't even know what that is. Is that some kind of crayon pen, considering the entire thing was meant to be crayon? I feel as though I've never heard of a crayon pen, but it definitely makes sense. Look at this. It just goes and goes and goes and goes. What have we got now? Oh my goodness. We're even going to tape peel at the end just to make it even more satisfying. That is insane. Wow, then what can I say? This is definitely the top of the month for oddly satisfying, because that is just insane. Obviously, like I said, it is a 3.5 minute video, so I cut it down a little bit, or maybe I'll just sped it up. Who knows? But still, the entire thing, just the speed and the accuracy, oh my goodness, and just the end result is just beautiful. Just incorporating so many different elements, from taping to kind of smudging with your finger, a little bit of pencil, a little bit of a pen or whatever I saw that thing was, and then just being able to bring them all together to make something like that. Really, it kind of reminds me of when people just do the kind of the spray painting asteroid fields. Oh hey, it doesn't even have to be asteroid fields, it can be planetary or galaxies or everything like that, but you just kind of tape a little bit here, or you get a little bit of a bowl here, and you just create these beautiful galaxy looking paintings and everything like that. And this really just reminds me of that in a way. And look, that is definitely a good thing, because I think those things are incredible, and this one is also incredible, so well done to this person. And like I've been saying with a couple of these posts, I just feel as though a couple of them could actually belong on black magic ridiculousness, because there is no way that any of what these people are able to do is actually not just a little bit of black magic or just magic involved in some regard. Look, even the fact that at the end here they're able to peel it that cleanly, there has to be some kind of magic involved in that, because it doesn't, most tape just rip when you do that. So yeah, what can I say? I just have to agree with the fact that this is definitely a top of the month kind of post for oddly satisfying. Just the entire thing just encapsulates you, their skill, the artistry. Oh, it's just so good. And look, if you're able to do something like this, just keep on doing what you're doing, because like I said, it is black magic and also just completely satisfying. Not even oddly satisfying, just satisfying. But anyway, that is going to do it for the top of the month for oddly satisfying. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to do the YouTube algorithmic things down below. Let me know if you had a favorite post out of any of these. Other than that, we check out awesome posts all over Reddit, so make sure you check some of the other videos out now. Or hey, maybe you just even want to consider subscribing so you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.